Giants have had so many problems as a team. Bans so far. When you play against Steve, he's been good on Fiora.
He has.
I respect the ban. Give me an Alistar ban as well. The problem is when you're on red side in the pick and ban phase, you normally want to ban their generic OPs like Gangplank and Lulu. So with the Fiora ban, they might have to leave one of them open, or Elements decides to say, why would they ban Gangplank on blue
Help
side?
me with the number now.
14 out of 15 games. Gangplank has been banned on red side in the EU LCS. 93% of those games. Just did the math in my head, by the way.
Nice, nice.
I didn't. I got this
It was,
number from Spellsy.
And it would also be +1 from earlier because Origin banned at red side. Elements do not have a Gangplank player, we assume.
I mean,
or they don't want it first pick. Maybe that's the more important question. Alistair's taken away. There's no surprises here for Giants.
but you're allowing them to do this now. You could have ended up getting a first pick Gangplank potentially. I would rather see Lulu ban on blue side, because I don't think Lulu necessarily has to be
Stop
first
for a second, and who's going to run it? Steve has been
No, but that's why you ban
on
it.
Some
yeah, that's why
champions.
Elements would ban it and then leave GP open, get him as a first pick, and then you just go crazy.
Yeah, but is Steve or Eika going to run GP to the level that you
They
need to?
have to be able to.
He's a very complex champion to play.
Well, I feel like you made the pick and ban phase a little bit easier for Giants. There are still a lot of good picks open though, like this bad boy, who we absolutely love to see as a first pick. Good support pick, fantastic top lane at the moment. Little trick for solo queue. He's a good jungler as well.
Flex all over the place if you unbench the Kench.
Faker plays AP Tahm Kench mid lane.
Okay, so if we are Giants, what do they play? Ryze is not available. Corki could be a safe pick, played twice by Adryh,
Yeah.
also a flex.
Lissandra is open. I really like Lissandra as an early pick. Seems like Giants though have followed. I mean, this is the thing, when you start getting some of these target bans with like Fiora and Alistar coming in, even though, okay, Fiora is a fairly standard ban, but still it tends to open up for a lot of all of these top tier picks we normally see, and obviously Graves is one of them. Tahm Kench. Don't think you have to early pick the Trundle here. I would probably prefer to Lissandra, but again, it depends on each individual team what you like to play.
Now, take a look at the players. Where are you anticipating this Trundle and Graves to go? Trundle support, we know GODFRED's already run that, but will Ku or Atom get their hands on Graves? Maybe. We'll see how the rest of pick and bans come for Elements and they can still opt in.
Hey, that's the beauty of flex picking, but I think Trundle is better as a support, so I would expect GODFRED to take it. Also, in case Tahm Kench goes down to the bottom lane, Trundle does often really well into these melee supports. Not enough to like completely dominate the lane, but still. I think also it's just Giants saying we need something to deal with the potential full tank Tahm Kench. We want the Trundle ulti, so we don't want to risk Elements going Tahm Kench Trundle in the first two rotations, and therefore leaving Giants with no tools to really kill a big tank. That seems to be the plan for them. And again, Lissandra is still open. She's good into Kalista if they want to pick it for that top lane and just constantly push in the Tahm Kench or for the mid lane.
And has been played by Atom in the top lane as well. Relatively good performance.
Yeah, I
Amazing,
liked it.
But showed that he's got some mastery over the champion. Pepi, quite a concerned look on his face, to be honest, as he's chatting away to the rest of the squad. And I spoke a little bit to their manager, and he was talking about how the team is continuing to develop their synergy. Now they're predominantly not Spanish anymore. And it's continuing to adjust. So, Viktor, blind on red side.
Okay, again, they're not really hiding a whole lot with these two picks, because we know it's Viktor mid, so we know it's Ezreal AD carry. Eika is a guy who used to play some assassins. I like some of these picks, like a LeBlanc into Viktor. And Ahri potentially as well. It gives you a lot of pressure around this mid lane, especially with an Elise jungle who can set up the gank so effectively. Because obviously Viktor will be a low mobility champion. So Giants are not hiding anything. I really think they should at least save the blind pick for xPePii. Clearly they want it for top lane, and this is what happens if you don't value a pick like Lissandra very highly, because that could have been locked in here, and you could then save both top and mid lane counter pick and just move Lissandra to your lane for your last one. But instead, you take now a clear-cut mid lane pick, so you don't really hide anything. You give Elements a chance now to counter pick mid, which is very surprising.
Let's see, what do Elements decide to lock in?
Okay.
It looks like they're Morgana. So Morgana mid, we're seeing it played around the world a little more frequently these days. I think it was actually played in the LCK this morning as well.
Top lane as well for Trace.
Top lane, and Sprattel's going to be running that in. Thresh in support. So quite a reactive comp. They have the ability to have picks, and they have the ability to peel and fall backwards. So
Yeah.
options here for the Element squad.
Low engage from the team. a bit of an odd siege comp in a sense. Like Morgana, Elise is normally a fantastic siege combination, but Kalista is one of their weaker siege AD carries. Very risky for her to stand there and start hitting the turrets. Doesn't really offer that much poke other than just a Q coming in. To me, it's more of a pick combination.
Yeah.
From Elements right here. A lot of single target focus, cocoon, binding, hook. Like that's 3 times CC on one guy. Add in a Tahm Kench who gets time to add stacks and devour you. Like you can be stunned like probably for like 8, 7 or 8, 9 seconds with this. And then Kalista just sits there and spams spears on you. So it is very much a single target combination in terms of comp, in terms of their overall damage. Only AoE is gonna be like the ulti from Eika.
Yeah, not a lot of wave clear either on the side of Elements, so it'll be very reliant on that pull from Morg.
Basically,
but that's
Morgana.
really it.
That's basically
That's really it. W and, you know, otherwise you're getting an auto attack range. And the last pick here for Giants is Atom blocking in the Shen. So fairly defensive top laner here, reactive when you consider the Graves is going down.
It is a fairly slow scaling comp from Giants. The only early game they really have is the Graves Shen together. Especially the Graves is insane, like he has the highest burst of any jungler if you're fighting in the jungle where the walls are and he can double proc end of the line. If he gets caught out by an Elise though, it can still go really wrong for him. And Graves is not the strongest ganker.
Luckily.
For that also because again you need these walls around you, so unless you can taunt them top lane near a wall and then you can burst them. But it's difficult to set up compared to what Elise can do.
So we'll need to see how Ku handles himself with this Graves. First time that he's going to be running it, 4th different champion in 4 different games. Elements or Giants? Will Giants pick up their first win of the spring split? Let us know, hashtag GIA win, or will Elements go 3-1? Continue to look like a middle of the table squad, hashtag EL win. Let's jump onto Twitter and let us know. It's game 2, day 2, week 2. And we're finally getting into the rift. I want to keep my eyes on Ku's Graves and see whether or not he can do battle with Gilius's Elise.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to look at here, Trevor. Because normally when we see a pick like Viktor at the moment, it's often with a scaling top laner who can be a bit of a split pusher, and you have like a 1-4 setup. So one guy split pushing on his own, and then 4 members who are strong together, trying to be stronger than the other 4 guys from the other team. But in this case here, it's a Shen. And obviously Shen's scaling is not very great. Good base damage in the early game, he just becomes a pure tank late. Does have double TP on the side of Elements as well to deal with him, so... Giants to me are running a comp where a lot of it is around Ku in the early game with his damage. I don't think Ezreal Trundle is a super strong 2v2 lane. It's a lot weaker than Thresh Kalista at least. Also, Tahm Kench does really well into a lot of these melee matchups up top because he's just so annoying to deal with.
Stick to you forever, right?
Forever, man, and you just never get away.
Nothing
Keeps
you can
licking
do.
you.
He licks you, he sticks you. First damage already secured here by xPePii. I think it's quite good that xPePii's got good wave clear and good scaling on this Viktor, because he is so crucial to Giant success. Both last year and this year. His Vel'Koz surprised me last week.
The pick or the way he played it?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
I think he had a few good
lasers
here and there, but as a team, Giants didn't know how to use the Vel'Koz, which was a big concern. And obviously Morgana, we can talk about her. She's the new one. In the mid lane here, we see her more and more as a support as well. Black Shield is super strong against these compositions, which often only have like 1 main engage. Also, Thunderlords procs on Tormented Soil, so you can get some good trades early on.
I mean, I think we could be in, unless people get caught by CC, we could be in for quite a slow game here.
This should be a long one.
Black Shield is going to block the Shen taunt.
Yep.
On the assumption that Eika can find his target. Really, that's all Giants have got going for them. Unless they can flank and catch Elements out of position with, you know, good burst from Graves, Viktor is. But they can chunk people down.
This is the thing again, because you don't have a scaling split push on the side of Giants, you're basically just relying on scaling up Viktor and Ezreal to be your big carries in the late game, and then we know Graves can go like more of Memorials, he can go Sterix Gage, and he becomes a bruiser tank as well. So like, you really want to just scale up as Giants. And because Elements doesn't have like a pure siege comp in any way, they don't really have any hard engage either, we're gonna have a lot of moments or situations where waves will be pushed up to tower, Giants will wave clear it, then Elements will fan out in every lane with double teleport again, push in the lanes, and Giants will keep wave clearing. So Giants will often be very reactive in this game, and Elements will have to pull the trigger, but that was what they struggled to do in every other game because they weren't very good at being the active team. They kind of needed to wait.
Let's take a look if those 2 teleports for Elements will help out. A lot of Thunderlords across the board, with the exception of obviously Fervor of Battle on Kalista, which is the standard on 6.1 as far as I can see in the LCS. And it looks like both teams are going to be trading towers here. There's no contest. Gilius has actually moved in to take the Gromp. It looked to me like he was going to go into lane. But not the case, and Coop just finishes clearing off the top half of the jungle. So both teams agree. You have one half of the map, we'll have the other. And they're just trading camps and towers. Atom gets the gold for the Giants, and I want to see who gets it for Elements.
Should do the same, just give it over to Steve. Back in Season 5. Oh, let's talk about that after, because mid lane, xPePii does have cleanse.
Flash available, going to be hiding in that gravity field. Gilius got an auto attack down and is still holding on to the cocoon. Manages to curve the bullet, but the Dark Binding will only find GODFRED, and it's not the most exciting of ganks, but a little bit of damage down and everyone walks away.
So it looks like Elements didn't manage to bounce a wave down the bottom side unless somebody... No, it's a ward they had in lane that looked like a minion to me, so never mind. Steve gets to do his job. I'm like, why is the minion wave up there already? But basically, back in Season 5, we saw teams trade gold between AD carry and top lane when the tower went down, because you could then go back with 875 and get a pickaxe. But because right now you can just get long swords on something like Kalista, you want to get Tion and Ezreal, it's not really worth it to do that anymore. Just give the full gold over to your top laner. He's the guy who's getting stuff for CS, obviously. And having a strong top laner is still super, super important, because he can sit on his own while the rest of your team is running around doing things. And if your top lane is stronger than the other, you will have full control in that lane for the entire game. And that's obviously what both teams are looking for. I gave it to Steve late game though on this Tahm Kench.
So late game is what we're looking for if neither team make big mistakes. Trade of position, Elements are going to get the advantage. Should take this tower down uncontested from Giants.
This has been a problem for Giants. Step 1 of the lane swap is easy enough. Go 3-man up and fast push in the tower. That's hard to mess up. Step 2, however, is where a lot of teams tend to have issues. And now Giants are super far behind on the push. Because basically what they did, they only sent Adryh bot lane at first, and he just slowly started pushing it out. While Adam was running, coming from mid lane and top lane, GODFRED were running from mid lane. So they joined in really late to push in the wave. And obviously when the tower goes down now, you want to again give it to your top laner and give him some time to farm before the enemy dual lane shows up. That gets delayed for Giants because they get the tower fairly late. MrRallez will get the tower up here, and now Elements can decide where do we send our lanes, because we are quicker.
Yeah, Elements one step ahead. Steve is already in position in the top lane, and the rest of Giants are starting to back away.
And we just saw Elements give the full goal to MrRallez. Steve was up there because he wants to stay in the lane and get the wave bounced, pushing in towards him to deny farm, potentially from Adam if he goes top, and make him overextend. But they gave all the gold to MrRallez. So he had enough to get a bow, get some more attack speed, and I'm gonna see Elements play around this 2v2 lane now. Kalista, Thresh, give full gold to MrRallez when tower goes down. I mean, they're just telling me, big sign they're holding up, saying, we want to play around MrRallez at the moment.
Well, I thought they said that at the beginning of the split.
Well, they're saying it again.
Now they're saying it in-game. There's some pretty good wards from Giants in the jungle of Elements. The Elements pink ward is just out of range of that Raptor camp green, or invisible ward rather, as you can see on the screen. So some advantage to Giants in terms of information. It's not going to cost them or gain them anything yet. And we see Sprattel and MrRallez pushing quite aggressively in this bottom lane. They do have Gilius coming from the river though.
Yeah, and because Elements had a good bounce up top lane where they allowed all the minions to die, so started pushing towards them, Giants had to send Adryh up there. You always want to send your AD carry to the lane where the wave is pushing away, because he's the stronger guy at the moment. And you want your top laner who's been denied farm to catch the wave coming towards him, so you make sure he gets some CS. It does mean Elements are making the correct move. We have a stronger bottom side now with Kalista Thresh against the poor little Shen and whatever backup he can get. So push it up and then walk into the enemy jungle. Take the buffs, take the camps, place a few wards. Basically say this is no longer yours, because we're stronger on this side of the map. Adryh can't do anything top at the moment. He's just going to give a lot of farm over to Tahm Kench, and that's about it. So Giants are not really gaining anything at the moment, while Elements gave control and a blue buff, and maybe get some damage on tower as well.
And again, this all stems from the fact that Elements got to that top tower about 40 seconds quicker than Giants. They pushed themselves down. They got into a position where they could siege. Now, there is some contest from Giant. Sprattel winds up and finds Ku just around the corner. A two-man play and the Thunder Lord's prop. Get some damage on Giants, but nothing more than that.
So Gilius gets out, barely took any damage. He can just go back to farming, and he doesn't even have to recall yet because Adam just missed the taunt. I'm not sure if the pillar moved him a little bit, and that's what happened. But now again, you get this issue for Giants where you're just trading experience and farm with the enemy top lane and with your AD carry. Obviously, Ezreal wants to scale up, stack the tier, yada yada yada. But Tahm Kench is getting what he wants, and his tower didn't even take any damage.
So Gilius is just walked in range of a pink ward. That has been there for about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll see how quickly Elements can find it or how long it will survive. It's becoming more and more of a mini game as we continue to watch 6.1.
It's there so often.
I know.
I just need to see a team always reminding each other, being like, guys, guys, guys. They had control on the bottom side before. There's a good chance it's there, and you just go in and check, and it's done.
Talking about those pink wards, triggers,
and you forget it. You forget it. I mean, it's so easy for us. Again, we can see the pink ward right there. You're like, oh, look how easy it is. The ward is placed. But as a team, again, you're talking about so many different things about, you know, how does your hair look today? What are you gonna get for dinner? And then
you say that as a joke, actually.
You do talk about that kind of stuff.
The pre-game here in the studio, sometimes teams come out and have like a Q&A with the guys in-house. And one of the questions from one of the fans today was to xPePii asking for some advice on how he keeps his hair. So lovely. So props for that one. xPePii said find a makeup artist.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Wondering.
It's kind of cheating a little bit.
Oh, was that stolen?
Uh-huh.
Ku, collateral damage. Woo! I agree. Golf claps all round. Blue Sentinel secured, but this is exactly what we expected. Both teams
stealing the booba?
No, both teams scaling. Both teams taking their time, getting to those item breakpoints, and then looking for the taunt, the flank, if you're Giants, or the skill shot to land, if you're Elements.
Well, if you're Elements right now, what you're hoping is actually to get Kalista Thresh against the enemy AD carry. Because then you can push him all the way down to his tower, and you can rotate to the mid lane, and you can start putting pressure on that tier 1 in the mid lane. It's difficult for you to do right now, because Giants are trying to mirror exactly the same. So you just end up trading. But you have the Kalista Thresh, you have the power, so you want to be the one in control, gaining more than the enemy. But right now, they're just kind of mirroring each other. We see the two junglers are joining in the dual lanes, and they're just going to push in on the tier 2 tower. So basically, this is good for Giants. You trade and you scale.
Luckily for Giants, they've got Viktor if that mid lane pressure comes down. So he can
that is one of the problems.
Try wave clear. So Elements decide they will look top. This time, they are the ones a little bit late. So it's actually Giants with a 3-man push. They get an inner turret before Elements have started the top. Now, it looks like Giants are going to find some resistance. Steve will start to defend as best he can. But this is going to be a difficult defense. Look, Eika was running from the mid lane, and all of a sudden, Giants are now knocking on the mid-outer turret. So it's Giants with all the map pressure.
Yeah, I really like this play from Giants, saying, again, we can't really keep defending against Kalista Thresh, so we just leave them and we just take something on the other side of the map. Graves as well is really quickly, he's very quick at killing these towers because, again, the shotgun, multiple bullets on a big wall apparently kills it. But that's how it works. And he's very good at that. So props to Giants, making a good move here, getting a tower. Doesn't really matter that their inhib turret took some damage, it will heal back up anyway, and we're only 11 minutes into it.
In the game.
You're not going to walk down and kill it, but it does mean you have dragon control, so Giants are getting quite some good stuff. xPePii in the mid lane has just been farming, just been doing his job. You don't really need to do anything else. Sprattel is walking in alone right now. What are you doing, friend?
So much trouble. Let's take a look. Sprattel is just going to flash over the wall. Nobody follows. The rest of Elements are grouped around the middle lane. Stand United is available for Atom. GODFRED, he's now the one that's a threat, especially because he's been caught by the Dark Binding. Death Sentence pulls him backward. Stand United is being channeled, and nobody's down yet. Ku's moving forward. Collateral damage is ready, and Atom has now joined the rest of the team. Ooh. We have a 5-on-4. MrRallez is nowhere near.
Get a taste of what Elements can do with the comp. We talked about the pick potential, binding into Cocoon, into Hook, into Tahm Kench, all that kind of stuff. Not enough. They get Shen ulti though, that's big. Put Tahm Kench on the top side now against Shen 1v1. Have Kalista Thresh play the bottom side, or at least Kalista against the Ezreal. Thresh can sit mid and roam with Elise, and then suddenly you can put pressure on multiple lanes if you're Elements. So they have to set up now. Just want to see Steve sit on top side against the Shen.
Let's see if they put themselves in that position. MrRallez has got a very big CS advantage. He's grown that to 20 already, even in the middle lane. Has been even all of the game. So This is one of Eika's better performing matchups, and they've actually given the Rift Herald over to Steve, so he's going to continue to apply pressure on Atom and play that side lane. Did he pick it up?
Yeah.
No, my bad.
Well, he gets...
Oh, kill credit to Steve.
Yeah.
Was picked up by Gilius.
Steve is the hero. Steve is the hero here.
Yeah.
He took it down.
I like it on range.
I like how the crowd is randomly trying to yell Steve, but just because he kills the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to yell anymore. I like it on range junglers just because you can actually help taking down towers. Walk up, swap to human form, get some autos down, get that attack speed on those minions, Deficio.
Hey, you get movement speed as well in the jungle. Recall timing is good for you, so you can get faster back out and tail. Like, look how fast he destroyed that camp. Obviously all about the Rift Herald for him.
It is.
Look at that movement speed. Look how quick he is.
Flying. Boots of swiftness have nothing to do with that. 431 MS.
And everyone destroys the Rift Scope.
I've decided I want Eika to buy an Hourglass, and then I want Steve to deliver him to the back line. Adryh's got Flash and Arcane.
Oh, come on, Mad Life him.
No Mad Life today.
He tried.
I promised the Q would not hit. But yes, so Eika, Hourglass.
I think that's why he renamed. But
I want him to get inside Steve's belly, and then I want the Abyssal Voyage to deliver him.
You want to get inside?
No. I want Eika and Morgana to do it. And then arrive with Soul Shackles and Hourglass. I think that's a beautiful engage combo. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty sick. Except you get that misplay where you Hourglass first and you forget to click the Morgana ulti.
Oh, that's what I would do.
And then you just look
right.
Let's see what Steve can do.
Is hungry. Who's in trouble? Flash for Flash. Steve is going to nom him. Lines up the Dark Binding and first blood, 2 elements.
I love the skin choice as well, because we know Steve loves to bake cookies. Gets the chef Tahm Kench, gets the first kill. This is what elements needed. We talked a little bit about how he can put Tahm Kench in the Shen lane. They have doubles, they have globals against each other. Kalista is pushing up bot. So you spread out giants. You see Adryh now running from bot side. That opens up for you to get a few hits on mid tower. Always just a few hits. You got Rift Herald. This is great from elements.
Oh, GODFRED's coming in, as is Atom. The pillar's already down. A flash taunt will keep Steve under pressure. Grey health comes up and he's rooted in place by the gravity field. They've traded top laner for top laner, as it's a ninja for a fish, and Giants, they managed to defend the tower ever so slightly.
Still very, very low, so it's just one more push from elements. You can now reset. As long as Eika is here when the wave is grouped, he can clear it very easily.
There's no mana, he's just used to it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, it's going to be a little difficult, but as you mentioned, that pool comes down. Dark Binding connects onto Ku. Eika again, low on mana.
Oh, Ku is going to hate himself for that one. He fired the smoke screen just as the binding hit him, so the tower aggroed him, and you just get killed on the turret. It's one of those mistakes you make once every second game, probably. No, it's just one of those mistakes you never really normally make, or in solo queue you just laugh at it, but on stage it's really, really annoying, and it does end up costing you, because tower stays alive for elements, minions are down, they can now reset the map, fan out again, put Steve top, Kalista bot lane, or well, if Adam is bot, you put Tahm Kench bot. And you just do exactly the same, because once you push in every single lane, it is so easy to move into the enemy jungle and just rush in. He's killing minions!
Anyway, they've got themselves a 2,000 gold lead, and they have fanned themselves out across the map. Teleport for Eika and Steve available, so if Giants look to set something up, elements can respond.
Yes, they can. I think Steve might have a lot of gold though, so you just want to get it one more wave and go back. I'm lying to everyone, he has 500 gold.
It's not even us. It's not even us anymore.
Anyway, Trevor, we will not lose focus.
Maybe we should call him Alan.
Alan!
That might avoid some of the problems that we have. But take a look at the grouping here for Giants. They are now got a 3-man stack in the middle lane. Atom, Stand United available.
I wanted to say this like 10 minutes ago, but basically, you said in Champ Select how, you know, elements are lacking a bit of wave clear, and definitely agree on it. And like Morgana wave clear, it is such a scam, because you think, oh man, it's awesome wave clear, I'm just gonna clear this wave. The problem is, when the wave is running in a straight line and you put down the pool, it does almost nothing. So you need the wave to be grouped either with the minions or at the tower. And then by the time it dies, the enemy team has already got a few hits in your tower. So it is kind of annoying wave clear. Gilius, that was a flash cocoon?
It was an attempted flash cocoon. Did not hit the broadside of a barn, and that means Giants can disengage comfortably.
Elements is just a little bit too quick rushing mid lane, because that makes it too easy for Giants just to sit with wave clear. 1 or 2 lasers from Viktor, Iceborne Gauntlet from Ezreal, and that wave is dead. So again, you need to fan out, because you need to push or force Giants to send someone without TP to a side lane, and then you move in, because you have Kalista, who are so strong in the 1v1.
So let's go back to the scam, Tormented Soil, wave clear from Eika. It's either fantastic when they're grouped under the tower, or it's a fail if they're not. Good damage there from Adryh onto Eika, as Elements will secure Dragon number 1. Continue to back away. Adryh's got good aim at the moment. He finished the Iceborne first, still stacking up that tier.
Yeah.
It is still powering up, 652, almost capped.
I haven't decided with myself if I like that build path too much.
Tell me why.
It depends on a lot of things. It is a little bit stronger straight as you get the Iceborne Gauntlet for your team, because again, you want the utility from it, you want the cooldown reduction, so it makes you very slippery, and like this is what they're trying to do with it. But when you have the Mana Mune plus Sheen, that's a lot more damage, which is now obviously going to be delayed with the way he's building. But he most likely just wanted a lot of the utilities the Iceborne Gauntlet offered very quickly to start grouping, because it was a lane swap and the outer turret went down so fast. And obviously it wasn't really straight up laning here at any point in the game.
Maybe you got worried he was going to face MrRallez. The Rift Scuttler loses his patience with Elements, goes back to the pits, and then will re-aggro, continue to take him down. So this will be the second Scuttler they have secured. This time
it is a Rift Herald though. He's an evolved Rift Scuttler. Have you never played Pokemon?
Rift Scuttler. Not for a long time, Deficio.
It's one of my guilty pleasures. Sometimes
Isn't that hard to believe?
Sometimes go in and I just like...
I don't see you
I
as
just
a Pokemon
power
kind of guy.
No, it's just like sometimes if you're a little bit bored, you know, you can just power through like the original Pokemon with the 150 guys or 155 or whatever it is.
151. See, this is how I know
151,
you're a
yeah,
liar.
that's what I mean.
So I know you're like...
It's been a while, but it's happened. It happened.
Yeah. Fine, yeah. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Just get Starmie. It's super OP.
Take a look. That's him. It's caught out by the Dark Binding and several ticks of the soil. Actually chunks him down to about half health, but he's got no MR to speak of.
The tower's just laughing at Elements. Look at that. One hit from anyone.
Let's see. How quickly will it take to go down?
36 HP.
Blade of the Ruined King and... Oh, come on. Even the observers? Oh. Right, tower will go down shortly. Look at the buff from the Rift Herald.
So no damage, you know, really done for Elements. The fact it took a while to do it. They could have done a little more optimal, but anyway, they get the tower down. They have to push on another one because Adam is sitting in the lane. And Giants is just very slow directed. That's a fail.
Adam did not connect with the skill shots, and that means Elements can just walk away. Steve licks coup. That will be a big chunk before he has to
eSports out of context.
Walk away. And Elements now are continuing to maintain, dare I say, control. It's a 3,000 gold lead.
Sure.
They've got multiple heralds. They're pushing Giants and forcing Giants to react, but those missed engages, you're starting to see the limited engage power from both comps, and just how difficult it is actually to get kills, and then the follow-up objectives.
And when Giants had chances to punish Elements, for the somewhat sloppy way they've been playing out the early to mid game with how strong they had the side lanes with Kalista and so on, they haven't been able to punish them because they've then been misplaying mechanically. Missing some taunts here and there, Ku getting caught out in the river, dying, giving first blood, and so... I was about to say and so on, but I've been told not to say that anymore by my lovely girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Why not? Why not let's say it?
I'm actually lying. It was someone on Twitter who told me not to say it, but...
Oh, actual girlfriend is like that then. Take a look at the CS difference. xPePii is plus 39, continuing to grow over Eika. At 20 minutes, Eika was actually down 18 CS, so all of this farm that's been funneled into xPePii over and over and over for the last 10 minutes has allowed him to accelerate ahead. But he's just looking for those picks. So let's see. GODFRED, Binding, Death Sentence, Cocoon, and nothing else to follow. So no kill, really. On a support with only HP.
Well, still, they get him back into base, and that's all Elements are looking for, to continue just pushing up the lanes. And as long as Giants can't engage, it's just a matter of time before Elements does land a Binding or a Cocoon or Hook or whatever and kill someone. So they just keep playing it super slow paced. And because Giants are not really doing anything in return, you can keep doing it. The problem is just the scaling of Viktor and Ezreal.
Yeah.
Because we have fully stacked TNF from Adryh. xPePii has just been farming mid lane. I like his build path. Actually, the fact he doesn't fully upgrade his Hex Core very early anymore. Some of the changes that happened to it was it got more scaling per level as a base item, so you didn't have to fully upgrade it to get a ton of AP now. And you can just kind of let it sit there, get some other items first, and then upgrade a little bit later, and you still get that full AP amount late game, which is higher than it was before. So, Giants have missed a few opportunities, but they're not too far behind, by any means, to still really make an impact in the first team fight.
If one of those CCs actually does connect, the gravity field or a taunt from Giants, they can very easily pick up some steam, pick up a team fight win. But they need to be in the right place at the right time, and currently, Giants do not have the support needed. Elements are going to sneak a tower away, and Giants are caught napping. Wrong place, wrong time. There's a blue buff available for steal as well. This is the third steal of the game.
Yeah.
I feel
like Elements is just stealing candy from a baby. Because they just walk straight in and it's like, oh, okay, here's Shen sitting on his own. Kill tower. And then walk away.
Exactly like that. That's how plays are.
I feel like I just play-by-played it. You did. They don't have any dragons though, except, well, they have one dragon, so they don't have the chance to really go 5 dragons.
It hasn't spawned yet, Deficio.
No. It has spawned a few times.
Blue buff secured by Eika, I believe.
He's stuck in the wall.
By the pillar, forced to flash over the wall. Look at the collapse. Elements are looking for blood. Sprattel's gonna get chunked out, and that's an arcane shift forward. The collateral damage does not secure a kill, and Atom has arrived. He needs to connect with the taunt. There's no flash available, and still nobody goes down. Steve gobbles a minion and spits it back out in Giants' way in their general direction, telling them they smell of elderberries as Giants start off the Baron, trying to force a response from Gilius. No smite threat, and the rest of Elements slow to respond, but there's just not enough damage at this point in time, and Giants back away.
Yeah, still pretty early in the game for Giants. I like the move though, realizing they had lost the top tower. Oh, sorry, the bottom lane tower, and they rushed in on the other side of the map to create a play. Eika was standing there being blue buff. There's no pink ward now there is from Elements, so they see the ward. They do have Kalista, but it's only GODFRED who went back to base. Rest of Giants is coming around. This can be very, very risky for Elements. If they get caught in here with all the AoE from xPePii, and he's only hitting Steve.
This could make or break the fight. xPePii's managed to force Elements away. MrRallez has stacked up a lot into the Baron before he's forced to recall away. The gravity field's on the floor. And Elements have successfully disengaged. Now they feel there is an opportunity. Ku is sitting close to the left-hand flank of the team fight. He's a little bit split up.
Eika.
He's going to dash away. Teleport coming in from Steve. Ku's managed to pick up a kill onto Sprattel, as now Eika's in the back line. Soul Shackles is up. There's no hourglass yet, so he will go down. And he teleported in to donate gold to Adryh. Flash forward for GODFRED. He puts up the trophy for looks, and it won't slow anybody down. The Giants find themselves 2 kills. Flash for flash, I suppose. And overall, it's Giants now with the pressure. They're going to look to take an inner turret, and maybe more.
It all starts with both teams being somewhat desperate, starting up the Baron, trying to either force a fight to see if maybe they can sneak it away, but they get stopped. Giants walks in here, and it's actually disengaged until Eika is calling he can teleport in behind. But because there's no engage to set up Eika, he just kind of runs at them, pops his ulti, and they run away from him. And then they turn around and kill him. So there's no setup. Like, look at the fight again here. So Adryh gets hit, and Eika right now is communicating to his team I can TP in. But because there's no engage from Elements at all, there's no one who can, like, set up the team, lock someone down before the ulti from Morgana, so it's too easy to escape from it, and it's just a very easy kill for Giants.
Second of the fight, Baron was not secured. Elements still maintain a small gold lead. They got their second dragon this year while we were in that replay. So we're on track for Aspect.
Yeah, sure.
Trying to be optimistic here. But the scary thing is these team fights become more and more punishing. We're almost 30 minutes into the game, so death timers are going to start ticking up ever so slowly. So those misplays and those, poor teleports can become game-changing.
Yeah, I just want to see Ku now get more from Mortis as well coming in. It is such a powerful item, especially against multiple AP damage dealers like Steve's AP damage. You got Gilius, you got Morgana, so it's such a key item for him. You can just get Locket on your support anyway, And the thing is, Giants late game in these 5-on-5 team fights have so much damage and have an okay front line. Have a good front line in Shen. Then you have a bruiser in the Graves, and even Trundle when he's dealing some stats. Like, it becomes pretty difficult to kill these guys. And you have 2 great damage dealers in the late game. So I really like Giants' comp against what Elements have put on the table here when we get to the late game. And because Elements have been so slow-paced, Giants have been allowed to honestly sit and farm up.
Yeah.
And they have 5 towers as well.
I mean, look at the CS. xPePii, 260 to Eika's 196. Continuing to grow further and further. True shot barrage.
The Black Shield
across. Black Shield is down, but look at the minion wave. It will get cleared. Wow! Collateral damage and end of the line puts the DPS down. Steve is in trouble, or not. He's looking to create trouble. Atom is now on the front line. Steve going to be forced to pop this grey health. He's managed to swallow Atom. He's waddling towards the tower. Elements are running low, and it's Ku that gets dropped. He's the first victim. Thanks to Eika. Eika's holding on to his soul shackles and his flash, but without a dark binding connecting, nothing further comes of it, and all of a sudden, Giants, they're the ones that lose a member.
Again, there are these very sloppy, slow-paced fights. Nobody really dies. Giants is trying to disengage at first. Elements doesn't really have the damage to kill anyone. Eika, again, didn't get to use his ulti in that big fight. Adryh? Oh, close.
Black Shield. There wasn't so much AP on Eika. Next level, really killed him.
You are 100% correct.
Hourglass is getting closer and closer for Eika. 1,600 gold. I actually think he's got enough to finish it.
It's still going to be such an odd item for him to use. Because again, he jumps in, he pops his ulti, and then he pops Hourglass.
And then everyone runs away.
And everyone is already running away from him.
Yeah.
So.
But if it buys enough time for Steve to stick to somebody, like Ku, like xPePii, who...
That's the setup we need to see, right? We need to see one of these single target CCs land first, and that sets up the engage. So it's Steve coming into the back line. Ku already dealt all the burst damage he could. And Adryh is getting caught out a little bit, so he's forced to jump over the wall. And we just see this fight where Giants, they don't want to rush into tower. And Elements, they know they have to constantly be super afraid of the damage that can come from Giants. Because there's a lot of burst with the Graves as well.
We need to see how Giants get some control back. They're still down. And that last push was decent. Tongue Lash in reply for a Mystic Shot. And our Giants, they grouped up in this middle lane. Eika, teleport available. Minion wave being pushed down bottom. So Atom will be looking to stand united in. And Adryh's getting closer to Blade of the Ruined King. So this late game Ezreal is continuing to get stronger and stronger.
Yep.
And even more frustrating to deal with.
And right now, xPePii on the Viktor, full upgrade Hex Core. He's sitting on 600 AP, 30 minutes in. So if MrRallez mispositions, he gets one shot basically.
Let's see if MrRallez can play well. Blade of the Ruined King was used, rather Ghostblade on Ku. Now Atom's been caught by the death sentence, but it's Mega Tank v Mega Tank. Steve has been taunted. He comes out of the taunt and pops the grey health. Defensively flashes, and the Chaos Storm will pick up a kill onto Sprattel with the help of that collateral damage. They're trading kills back and forth. Supports are down, and MrRallez was out of position. He gets gobbled by Steve, and the waddle to safety. Steve will tongue lash Ku. The smoke screen comes out, and Atom misses both. The Vorpal Blades plus auto will secure the kill. And Steve is going to waddle away. Now Ku, he takes 2 turns. He's down to single-digit HP. Manages to walk away, and the spider survives.
Oh, that was so
Face
close.
of the mountain from GODFRED saves Ku's life. Elements lose 3, and Giants just knock on the front door before they walk away.
xPePii went pretty ham in that fight. After he saw an opening, he just flashed in, used everything, and ended up dying. But the rest of Giants still, this late game is very strong for them. Let's see it again. End up getting a lot of damage, end of the line, procs twice, get some good burst. Look at the death ray coming in from xPePii as well. MrRallez is completely zoned away from the rest of his team, so he can't deal any damage. And now xPePii, what is it he sees? He sees Sprattel low, Steve low, he flashes in, does get a kill, but then dies. Eika gets an okay ulti off, but again, very difficult for Eika to do anything in these fights.
If I were to pick an area not to fight against Graves, Viktor, Trundle, that would be it. That was unfortunate from Atom. I think he felt his character model was larger than it actually was. But you cannot afford to have those mistakes if you want
Look at this spider.
If you want to take more.
This is why this spider is demoted to going in and dying and exploding instead of being Elise itself. Because it couldn't even do the job. It's awful.
I didn't even follow that.
you know, instead of Elise being the spider going in, she sends in these small spiders because they're not as good as her. You know, they're just there to die, basically.
Okay, right, I follow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I understand.
right,
I understand that. Okay.
It'll be you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. So for Giants, they pick up a much-needed team fight victory. Their priorities around the Baron, if you look at the mini-map, so they're grouped up top while Steve and MrRallez easily secured their 3rd dragon of the game. 12 minutes away from Aspect.
5 dragons, still.
12 minutes from Aspect.
Yeah, definitely can be a possibility. And we talked about how, again, there's so much wave clear on Giant's side, and Elements were the ones who had to be proactive, something they don't do too well. Like, it does end up in these games where you're expecting the teams to reach late game.
So what is going to make or break it for these teams? We've talked a lot about the CC connecting and vision.
Yeah, I think honestly Elements has to create a pick. I think in a straight up 5-on-5 team fight, I don't really see them winning now, unless again we see a big misplay. But if they do manage to land 1 CC on a Giants member, again they have enough to lock him down and take him down. But that's the problem, when you're relying on someone so much on if you land that 1 skill shot, then you can go in. Instead of it being like, I don't know, let's take Alessandra as an example. You claw in and you point and click. And like, you know you can lock someone down.
Yep.
This is a skill shot into another skill shot, and you need to be in position to do it, where the rest of Giants is not there to help.
Yeah, and you need the Shen Stand United to not be enough, and you need Trundle not to interfere with the
Team's TP.
So, Steve, he's teleported in. He's going to get the tongue lash down. Stand United has already been used on xPePii just to bring Atom to the fight, and Elements are running away. So they traded a teleport cooldown for a Stand United. Hashtag not worth. And Giants are now grouping up and putting some pressure in reply to Elements.
Really, again, it's just so hard for Elements to start the fights. And as soon as you use teleport now against the Shen, he can just return to a side lane. You lost the fight, so you lose the map control around Baron. And that, again, is what you can do with the pick composition. If you get into Baron first and set up your control, you force them to walk in blind, and then you land the hook, and then you kill the target. The problem is now, that's not the case. Let's see what happens to Steve again, though.
Let's see. Steve, Gravity Field will root him in place. The rest of Elements are trying to set up. There's a TP into the back. It didn't work out for Eika last time. Black Shield is already there. Adryh is going to Arcane Shift over, and Eika with the Soul Shackles will root Adryh in place. It's a shutdown, and Steve gets the kill. Now he gets caught by another Gravity Field. You can't escape it. He's going to devour Atom, push him forward to MrRallez. MrRallez is landing all of the Rens. Another kill to Steve as Atom goes down. Eika claps his hands, and Elements, a 2-for-1.
So Elements finally get the pick they needed. I don't think Giants expected that teleport to come in behind them, and everyone was just kind of caught out. Ku were trying to clear the pink ward earlier. And because of the AoE, he hit the Baron. So he took a lot of damage, so he was super low. Giants just got caught completely out of position. Let's see what they can do.
xPePii's got no ultimate available. The Storm's not there. Ku's in trouble. The barrier comes up from his Sterak's Gauge, but it's just another kill to Elements. They're now 8-7 up, 3,000 gold in the lead. The pick that Elements needed, they found 3.
They did. Didn't get a Baron, though. So pushing for them is still going to be a little bit difficult. Now you have 2 teleports down. No flash for Eika, which was very key before. You might see Elements say, you know what, guys, just wait for another dragon. Chill out a little bit. Actually, no, what am I talking about? Because Ku's still dead. Just go Baron.
Yeah.
Just rush Baron now and take the fight.
You've got Smite and you have Kalista. It'll make it at least a 65-35.
Giants should just give this one up. Just give it up. Don't risk.
Giants will not heed your warning,
xPePii's out of mana.
Grouped up. Chaos Storm not available either. 600, and it's secured by Elements. Baron could be the tool that allows them to break open Giant space.
Yes, because now it gets a lot easier for you to start pushing in. You have so much damage coming from range with Kalista, Morgana, even Elise. These towers will drop fairly quickly. Tier 2 towers, Tier 3 towers being a little bit weaker. Though technically the Tier 2 tower in mid lane now, because it's been standing there for over 30 minutes or 15 minutes just stacking up armor on MR, is, I believe, like 5% stronger than last year. I don't think Elements cares about that at all. You can just push in, get that one down, get the inhibitors. They're weaker than last year. Super easy to take them down. Just gotta respect the flash taunt that can come in from Adam, even though he hasn't hit one yet. There's no cleanse. There is a QSS for MrRallez. I like that a lot, but this is the last remaining Tier 2 tower. Easy peasy.
So 6 towers taken in favor of Elements. minutes until this next dragon, so they can use Baron to siege as long as possible and safely back away. Dragon number 4. That's how effectively to take this tower down, because as you highlighted in picks and bans, Kalista, not the greatest when it comes to sieging. Short range and a lot of threat on the side of Giants. Enough minions to work with. So, Baron empowered minions all the way up on the front. Steve,
need
over
a banner here, Trevor.
4,000 hit points.
Need a banner to stop the magic damage from killing the poor minions.
Well, let's hope somebody picks it up. GODFRED's got caught. CC's been chained back and forth, but Cocoon went to the left, so no real follow-up threat. GODFRED should be able to heal up and make it back in time for at least the next wave. Adryh, True Shot Barrage will be up in a couple more Mystic shots. Continue to pull down, but look at the damage MrRallez has taken. Simply too much. Just a few autos, as well as those Mystics. Ku chasing forward. Collateral damage is available. End of the line bounces backwards and does not find a member of Elements to tag. But Giants lost the inhibitor turret. It is exposed. And Elements not stopped.
Elements have flash ready again for Eika. MrRallez has his flash up. Very important for this next potential fight. If I can get into that back line, Steve doesn't care anymore. He's just too tanky anyways. Running around trying to poke away. MrRallez taking some damage, has the BT shield, and that's inhibitor.
Now inhibitor is secured. Atom was caught up by the death sentence, but that's the one target you truly do not want to hit. Steve will devour Sprattel, and Elements, with the last 30-odd seconds of Baron,
they have a big wave bot lane and top lane.
Bots him, so they're not going for Dragon yet.
Oh, Giants!
Trouble! The Cocoon finds XPePii! He cleanses it, but it will not matter! Sprattel does not manage to find the flayers. Ku will dash away. He's flashed to safety. Steve is chasing all the way forward. Devours Ku, and MrRallez is here to follow up. That's a double! Now they're pushing forward. The second inhibitor turret is being pushed out as Death Sentence finds GODFRED. He's going to get away with his life, but Elements, they may have enough to finish the game. There's minions pouring into the base. And the primary wave clear from XPePii is Viktor. It's not there.
Again, you still have the Baron buff. Just keep pushing in. 2 guys are dead from Giants. Steve can tank the towers if needed. You got minions. You got everything you need.
It's all on Adryh and Atom. Atom's got his flash available and the taunt. Mystic shot connects. Eika's being dropped. And the Death Sentence finds Adryh. He's flashed away, but he will not survive. MrRallez is on a killing spree, 5-1 and 4. Atom's doing the best he can to delay, but it will not matter. Nexus turret number 2 falls, and after 40 minutes, Elements strangle Giants off the rift.
I feel like we've seen this before from Giants. We're sitting here talking about, oh, you know, Viktor scale up to late game. Blue build Ezreal is hitting late game. Good front line here with Shen. You know, the Graves coming in, the Bruiser Graves. And then, super weird dance going around the Baron, where Ku's like hitting the Baron because he's killing the ward with his AoE damage. Didn't stand close enough to the wall to only hit it to the ward. And like he takes a ton of damage. And then XPePii starts running around the Baron, and Steve is trying to catch him out, and Eika's on the TP's in behind. They get 2 picks, and that kind of opens up the game again for Elements, where it was looking so difficult. And you can just see XPePii here. These kind of games are just the worst to lose, because you feel like this game was won. Like as a team, it was constantly like, just do this, guys, and like we win this game. And then everything just goes wrong.
But again, you find a game where Giants are not really proactive enough. They had a few tower pushes here or there, but I think if you step back and you look at the team composition, what could they do? Adryh and XPePii having a chat there. Because both of these team comps were always going to be played slow. We're always going to be reliant on a certain number of events to happen.
Well, I mean, Elements in the early game. To see Adryh and XPePii, 2 guys who've been on Giants the entire time they were in the LCS. Only 2 guys remaining. But for Elements in the early to mid-game, it was so much about playing around MrRallez. And they did to some extent, but then they also started walking mid lane too early and allowing XPePii to keep wave clearing, and that really slowed down the mid-game, giving Giants more and more chances to farm up. And then, when we think it's basically Giants winning the game.
Yeah.
Surprise TP behind, getting caught out, people dying a little bit left and right. You lose that fight, Baron went down next, and the last final push was massive.
And that's all it needed. Baron and 1 push for Elements to finish the week 2-0. We're going to head to the analyst desk to take a look at it.